Ooga fucking ooga cuts, and welcome to Musical Literacy, where we're talking music 1920s through the 1950s, and more other shit that these guys wrote down before I had a chance to read.
Yeah.
Don't
Yeah.
you lie. I told you over a week ago what was going down. You fucking
How do you research 30 years of just music?
you fucking listen to it and you
Mhm.
figure out like, oh, okay, this is what they're doing in this time frame. This is what they're doing with that.
I know enough though, as I said in the DMs there. I do think I know enough anyways about the roaring 20s and the cars that go meep meep and
And then see,
yeah, see, we're gonna go down to the secret bar thingy, and what do they call those things?
speakeasy.
Speakeasy, and we're going to have a little bit of whiskey that was prepared by the boys. They stomped on a bunch of grapes. See?
Yeah.
Now, now,
Yeah.
Trippy, you have to talk like that for the rest of the show until we
No, I
get
don't. See?
Yes, you do.
until we
Okay.
get to the 1930s.
Mm-hmm.
Let me so where are we starting specifically? Because like I sent him someone who performed up till the 50s.
Starting with the 20s.
Yeah.
Let me check if this musician started in the 20s or not.
Shit. She was born in like 1915. She'd been like 5 years old in 1920. Meet. You could run from the cops. Ace, you could run from the cops at like 20 miles an hour, and they were like, holy shit, we're going fast. Woo! Yeah, and then they'd fuck up because, they hit 21, and they're like, I can't control it anymore. Just drive into a bank.
Like a fucking space shuttle going into outer space.
Get pulled over for a noise complaint because your music box is too loud.
Yeah. What era was it when they started wearing zoot suits? Was that like the 30s or the 40s? Where they had the zoot suit with the big ass pants and think Tom and Jerry.
I want to say 30s.
Okay. I mean, I know stuff like about other stuff with the stuff, but it was called the Roaring 20s for a fucking reason. They had a lot of big bands going.
Yep. Well, and the big bands, they were more of influencing them towards like the jazz and the blues. Like that's really one of the reasons that, like jazz and blues started catching on, because in the 1920s with the fucking when they called it the Roaring 20s, it's because of all the damn speakeasies in the big bands, and they're getting fucked up.
Yeah, dude, they'd be getting their fucking liquor. Gangs started going crazy because they were the ones selling the liquor, and like the mob and shit was into it, and they were trying to stop everybody else who had, a little bit of liquor, or at least make them pay protection money. And they had some crazy shit when it came to hiding those speakeasies too. It's like, come down into the basement where I have a sub basement and a sub basement for that sub basement, and then we turn this lever and we go behind the bookshelf, and bam, there's a fake bar.
Well, most of the speakeasies behind the bar, they had a trap door and they had tunnels, especially like out in the Chicago area. Al Capone's favorite joint was called the Green Mill, and it's still around to this day. And you could go there, you could sit in the same booth that Capone sat in, and they will take you on a tour and show you all the different tunnels and crap like that.
That's cool shit.
Yeah. And here's a little fun fact about my family. My grandfather actually ran booze for like not specifically Capone, but like within that crime family. And the way he did it, he was a undertaker. So he would stuff the pockets of the dead bodies with booze. So that way, if you ever got pulled over, they wouldn't check the dead body. Like they were like, no, we're not going to disrespect a body like that. So,
and shit, dude, bullets were easy or cheap back then, man. Like you could buy enough bullets to like write your name in the side of the building that you just robbed.
Right.
Just like, Trippy was here, and then jump into your car and drive it 5 miles away. Nobody'd be able to catch you. Yeah, right.
What?
A lot to take in.
She's still fucking muted.
Yeah.
I'm still here.
Shanae. Her name's Shanae.
No,
I
it's
just want
not.
the 20 people watching to know that her name is Shanae.
It is not Shanae.
I thought it was Shaniqua.
She's wearing white face. She used to live across the hall from Martin.
Oh shit.
So, what's up with this singer that you're talking about?
Oh, like he told me he needed music from that timeline, so I suggested Billie Holiday because she got really big when Fallout started coming out because they used some of her music in the games.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But he didn't want to do the research or any of the work himself. He just wanted to pull my ass in here.
Quit making shit up.
Praise me.
Mwah.
I played Fallout once, you know.
I saw a commercial for Fallout once.
Okay.
Oh,
he
shit.
fell out of the bed, you know, once.
So
Yeah.
what's up with this artist? Like, explain more. Like, you sound like you have some good insight. So, no,
Yeah, Nene, Shanae.
God damn you, woman.
She's over here just fucking with
Just
Discord.
Just call me Nin, and I'm not on Discord. I had my roommate talking to me.
I'll tell him to shut the fuck up.
You got more important shit to do. Damn it.
You're famous right now.
No,
People
I'm
are
not.
watching.
No, they're strictly here for the cunt stream. They are not here for me.
This
Tune
may
in
be
tonight in 4 minutes when she goes topless, turns her camera on, and we get in trouble for it.
good. It's not one of your streams, Trip.
I'm sorry, they're not going to pay me enough for that.
If somebody drops $3.50, she has to do it.
No, I don't. That is way too cheap for that privilege.
$3.60.
Higher.
$3.61.
I'm not a whore, let alone cheap. Go on.
Anyways, you were talking about this artist that you
$5.
Shut up, Pickle.
too much. You were talking about this artist that you know everything about. So go.
I
Was
don't
her
know
mom a slave?
everything about her. I just know her name's Billie Holiday. She got a recording contract in 1935. She sings blues and jazz. A lot of her music was in Fallout, and she lost her record deal, I believe, around the 40s for a while because she had a lot of drug and alcohol problems. But that was because she had other issues. But being one of the first Black women to that recording studio, yeah.
Oh, she had a lot of fun. She was like, "Fuck me, white boy," and he was like, "Yeah, that's right, Drew." And she was like, "Do it," and then yeah.
Hey, Ace.
It was like her.
Does this
What's up?
asshole always turn everything dirty?
Yes.
Okay.
So it was like her mom a slave or her parents a slave or
I don't know. There's not that much.
Or
I
grandmother?
don't know that much about musicians. I
What-
just know like the musical shit about them.
What kind of genre or style was she really a part of?
There you go.
Like I would call her literally jazz, but like I guess swing would be a better word to describe her. I mean, she started off working in clubs, so I guess big band would be a better modern term for it.
Okay. So she was like part of the, big band clubs in like the late Prohibition era.
Yeah.
Like, did she end up changing her style into like any of like the jazz, or was it just still the, big band style?
It changed a little, softened up around 1940-ish, but it for the most part stayed the same.
It says that she was her real name was Eleanor Fagan, and she was better known as Billie Holiday, a jazz singer with a career spanning nearly 30 years. She was nicknamed Lady Day by her friend and partner Lester Young. Holiday had similar influence in jazz music and pop singing. Her vocal style, strongly inspired by jazz instrumentalists, pioneered a new way of manipulating.
Thank you.
I'm so proud of you for doing a little bit of work.
Right. But he just Googled that so that way he could sound like he's intelligent.
If it makes you feel any better, he didn't have to Google it. I sent him the wiki page on her like a couple hours ago.
Goddamn. And he only got around to reading it now.
I also sent him an old jazz song called "Oh Daddy" that they put into one of my favorite childhood cartoons.
Well, and that's the other thing. A lot of the music around, those 30 years, you'll find in either cartoons or video games now.
Mm-hmm. It's cheaper to get the licensing rights.
And like back then, like they actually, kind of appreciated music, and it's not where they have mumble rappers or anything like that. And
He's
freaking
probably
like
still talking. Doesn't realize he's muted.
probably. But like if you listen to, either male or female, like they had the different vocal ranges, but the males, they were more known for singing higher pitch.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody else say something intelligent.
I murdered Ace. I'm sorry.
You murdered me?
That seems like it did.
Just
No.
your brain. Just your brain. Yeah, this is railroading. This is train wreck.
Apparently, y'all did not give Trippy enough time to prepare for this, since he told me he had just today.
Bullshit.
I didn't
had
tell
a
you any
fucking
details.
week.
Don't be making up details.
He had a week.
I didn't know. Shut up. I didn't. Not that I didn't know. I didn't tell her that I had any I didn't tell her any fucking details. She's making all that shit up. I just asked you if you wanted to come on here.
Jesus Christ, Trippy. I'm going to start treating you like one of my kids and start fucking hounding you every day. Did you
No,
get this done? Did you get that done?
Finish reading this Wikipedia article for 20 minutes. No, anyways, so
Trippy,
what we
Trippy.
could say that is
Go
that
your
in
clock.
the 20s, blues music, jazz music, and big band were probably the three big uns.
Mm-hmm.
And that those people were the ones that were going out there innovating at the time. And that's how, other people started to see that.
Yeah,
And that music
like
stayed
Louis
relevant
Anderson
for a
and
long time. Yeah.
Well, and that's why, it's easier to cover the 20s to the 50s in one whole block because there's not much to say about one specific genre because it all kind of meshed together. But out of those genres, really started developing the fundamentals of blues, and where like Chuck Berry in the 50s really developed that rock style.
Yeah, dude. But back in like the 30s and 40s, you also had people out there go up on stage with a washboard, a couple of spoons, maybe a
good old
bass guitar.
bluegrass.
Yeah. I mean, like that. It has its roots back around what, in the 20s, 30s, 40s with bluegrass. I'm not really sure when it started to hit. 50s, 60s, 90s.
I think bluegrass was around the 50s. It started to actually like get on radios and stuff.
But yeah, people would be performing it over on their porch with their jug of moonshine with the 3 X's on it.
Oh, and here's a little fun piece of information. Fucking when they put together outlawing fucking cannabis, they obviously called it marijuana back then, but they fucking said that jazz will be one of the issues, that smoking cannabis will make you want to listen to jazz. So it's like, goddamn, like jazz was an evil thing back in the day.
Oh, it's the devil. It's the devil. You hear them horns? It's the devil.
It was the true mother of rock and roll.
The devil's lettuce. And silence. All right. So
I'm sorry, I was laughing over here. Trippy music.
Stop muting yourself.
No.
I mean, there's really not much else to say. That's why, that I'm trying to
Speed it along. Hurry it along.
Yeah.
Next subject.
Yeah.
I was gonna say we could hop on to the next subject on hand in the title of this stream.
Good, that's the interesting part.
Oh hell yeah.
Yes, it is.
Is this the part where Cunt starts to lecture us all on what he knows?
No. This is the part when we ask, is Post Malone and Justin Bieber the same person?
Oh, Jesus. Why?
No, not Jesus.
Jesus has nothing to do with it.
Oh, you're right. Sorry. Damn you, Balthazar, for giving birth to Justin Bieber.
Right. No, but there's a conspiracy theory out there that I stumbled across the past couple of days where people are saying that Post Malone and Justin Bieber are the same person. And I could play the little like 45-second clip where you could hear the voice and they sped up the pitch and whatnot, and it sounds like fucking Justin Bieber. So if you want, I will play that real quick.
You will?
Yeah, just
Cool.
to torture everyone.
I need booze if you're doing this.
Oh,
Yep.
should I pop Zella's invite then, since we're getting to the part where
Yes. Do it right now, so hopefully he comes in right in the middle of Justin Bieber singing, and it fucking destroys him.
Mm-hmm.
he's a stronger guy than that. You see that avatar he's got? That's a self-portrait that he made.
I don't doubt it. But he is.
So you have the invite, sir. Yeah. I think he was watching. Anyway.
Yeah. But all right, let me fucking play this shit real quick.
Come on, go faster, Ace. You can do it. Do your job.
Damn, I hate to go psycho. Lil' mama better Michael. Can't really trust nobody with all this jewelry on. You, my roof look like a no-show. Got diamonds by the bolo. Come with the watch out, oh, watch out, oh, watch out, yeah. That's my shot, that's my shot, that's my shot, yeah. Swing it, I'm swinging.
All right, so Ace, explain which is who.
So supposedly it was Justin Bieber in the beginning, but the end was Post Malone, where they tuned up the pitch and whatnot. So like it was a comparison of like his actual voice to the sped up with Post Malone, because that was actually apparently Post Malone's fucking song.
I can't tell who the fuck is who in that.
It still sounded like shit no matter what.
They both they sound very similar, but they don't look anything alike. I like Trippy's take on it that he was talking about before we started.
Trippy, you there?
Okay, so I get a message from Trippy, and he's like, "We're gonna bring you on," and I'm like, "All right, again, I don't have much to add to music." And then he's like, "We're gonna talk about a conspiracy," and I'm like, "Oh, I love those." Like, yeah, maybe that's why you're gonna. He's like, Post Malone is Justin Bieber. I'm like, fucking Trippy, God fucking damn it, God fucking damn it.
I was here the whole time. Ace
Damn it,
Ace
Trippy,
found this one,
just
by the way.
fucking up everything for everyone
No.
today.
I was trying to eat my
How do you
back ribs.
explain? Because Post Malone has like a squashed oval head, and Justin Bieber. I debunked it.
Well,
They have different
Trippy,
Hold on,
what's your
this-
take on it?
All right, my take on it is that people are probably thinking that it's the same performance artist that's doing both of the songs. It's just that Justin Bieber and Post Malone would be frontmen, to take the fame and be like, yeah, I'm the guy on that record right there.
Okay.
Even though, like,
I can sort of.
yeah, you
Bieber's
see what,
dad.
So what he's trying to say is they're the new Milli Vanilli.
if you play that one I just put in the side chat.
They are really good friends. Post Malone is very supportive of Justin Bieber. So give me
True.
more evidence other than changing the pitch makes somebody sound like somebody's pitch.
Well, it's not even the pitch that they changed. They literally just fast forwarded it a little bit. Like they
Yeah,
just
that's-
sped it up.
They didn't change the pitch at all when they sped it up?
Mm-mm.
They kept the pitch the same?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, let me see if I can
That
screen.
video I put aside. If it's not the same video,
That's a little harder to do, speeding up the pitch.
Nope, I
Or
cannot screen share.
speeding it up without adjusting the pitch.
Nah, man, Audacity can do it. You just gotta hit a couple buttons.
Yeah, because normally when you speed something up, the pitch changes as well. That's why there's a setting on YouTube specifically for don't change the pitch, because the standard is the pitch will change.
mm-hmm. I mean, as far as I could tell, it looked like dude just sped it up. He shows his program, whatever the fuck he's using.
Did you
In
get
the
this
one
on
YouTube
a?
video.
Did you get this off of a Flat Earthers YouTube channel?
Ask Case. He's the one that found it.
Oh no!
Yeah, no, I was just going down different fucking rabbit holes of conspiracy theories after our little fucking talk about all that shit like last week. And I was
Yeah.
like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah. Did you find any other kind of evidence or anything? Because otherwise, we're gonna have to work really hard to make this sound convincing. Other than the fact that they are good friends. Like, I do know when Post Malone was on H3H3's podcast one time, literally in the middle of the podcast, he was interrupted by Justin Bieber just trying to call him.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's how good friends they are.
Well, I know Trippy just sent me another video, but it's 7 fucking minutes long.
Well, he fast forwards whatever song it is, like right at the beginning. So he starts playing it, and then he just speeds it up a little bit.
I do think it's a pretty weak theory.
I think so too.
It's definitely no Paul is dead.
Yeah.
Paul is dead. That could be a whole episode.
But what we
motherfucker.
could do is we could transition into Pizzagate and how it's connected to Chester Bennington. Is that his name?
Yep.
And the Audio Slave singer Chris Cornell.
Yeah.
Wait, what?
We could
How?
talk about that shit.
Wait,
That shit gets deep.
What the fuck is that shit? The Pizzagate was some type of
Pizzagate was real,
conspiracy
son.
theory about child rape or something.
Well,
Yeah,
here's the
so-
thing. Here's the thing to establish for the audience. Okay, Pizzagate, first off, was meant to sound kind of silly and dumb, and it really kind of on the surface, anyone's on the surface explanation, it sounds pretty dumb. The on the surface explanation that most normies hear is, yeah, there was this pizza shop, and you go there and you order kids. How dumb is that? This isn't what was going on. In fact, in the email leaks that we have, the WikiLeaks that we have that concern Hillary Clinton, it's
Not
actually
just
been
her.
it's actually been established that you do have to take a small leap, but it's not a big leap whatsoever. That you have all over these records people ordering and talking about food in very weird ways, like non sequitur ways. Like why would you bring up hot dogs right now? Why would you bring up pizza with fucking pineapple on it right now, for example? Why would you bring this shit up?
Well, and the other big thing about it was, yes, it was connected to the restaurant. And
Well, I just wanted to explain what it was for the audience, so they're not
But-
confused. The main theory is pretty much that these high officials were ordering kids.
yes,
There was that one
because
email where the dude sent to Hillary Clinton, and he was like, "Yeah, I got some cheese pizza," which everybody takes to mean, CP. And he said that it was his little nieces, and that when they got to his place, they were going to get destroyed.
well, and not
it's like,
just
what the fuck is he talking about?
they were sitting there talking about, we have 30 hot dogs ready for this party, and
At the White House, right?
yeah,
And they're not allowed to bring in
that's the
outside
other
food.
thing. It also implicates Barack Obama, because at the time of WikiLeaks, like, that was his fucking era as president. Like, whether he was a part of it, like, I don't want to fucking say that he was diddling little boys, but like, you would think he would know if somebody was diddling little boys in the White House at that time, right?
Unless they're protected.
You would, yeah, unless they're protected. Like the theory, okay, there's the what we know stuff, and what we know again is why the hell are you bringing up the food the way you're bringing it up, and when you're deciding to bring it up. This is all very odd. Then you have on top of that the Anthony Weiner cases and many other cases like that, where cut and dry, black and white. Oh, you're a high official, and you were caught with either CP or really fucking little kids.
Well,
I
not
mean, come on. You just have to look over to Europe, and for 40 plus years, the most praised celebrity over there was Jimmy Savile.
and he was a known fucking pedophile.
And this
that they
was a
had.
guy, this was a guy that used his riches to buy and build hospitals for children, and then go to nurses who have now since confessed to order children. It's like this. It's not too far of a fucking stretch, is what I'm saying. So anyway, to get back to the musical literacy of it, Ace, if you know anything about this, or Trippy, if you do, what was the organization again that Chris Cornell was a part of?
I can look it up real quick. I don't know off the top of my head.
Go ahead and look it up, and it'll creep you the fuck out.
I don't know the name of it, but wasn't it supposed to be something about like getting the information about aliens out there to everybody? Like, isn't that what he says?
No, you're thinking of Blink-182.
Oh, that's right, I am.
Yes. Chris Cornell, and Ace is probably looking it up right now, was involved in a group
helping
that was
vulnerable children.
Yeah, there we go.
That's right.
Chris and Vicky Cornell Foundation. It's to help vulnerable children, from abuse, war-torn countries, anything.
I want you to look up the date of Chester Bennington's death. Could you do that for me?
Yeah, I got you.
Let me know when you got it.
Got it.
What's the date?
July 20th, 2017.
What is Chris Cornell's birthday? Look that up for me.
March 20th, 1976.
Is that a 3-month period between each other?
April, May, June, July. Is it 4?
It's 4?
It's 4, I think.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
Damn it. Why do you guys always ask us to do math?
No, it's fair enough. That kind of pokes hole in the more creepier of part of the conspiracy theories. But either way, Chester was part, I believe, or donating to the group that Chris Cornell was involved in.
Mm-hmm.
And now, am I wrong about that?
Well, they were good friends.
Yeah, they were good friends, and he did donate some money, from my knowledge. It wasn't extravagant amounts, but most musicians, when somebody starts up a foundation, they're good friends, they'll donate money, especially when it's for a good cause of helping children. And also, from my knowledge, they were trying to also speak out about some of these things that were going in the music and Hollywood type of fucking worlds.
Right. Now, when you take that, if you just go, okay, let's start with the presupposition that, let's say, yes, higher officials are, a lot of them are banging little kids. They don't want anyone to find out. There's a kid trafficking problem, which we do know there is a kid trafficking problem. Chris Cornell was one of the people trying to fight it. So let's say they're involved in it, and let's say that these guys got too juicy information. Now, if you would do me the favor of looking up how Chris Cornell died, because I don't want to laugh at his death because that's not funny, but it's the circumstances of his death that they consider a fucking suicide. And this guy had broken ribs, he had bruises, and it was death by hanging himself. Something like that.
Autopsy and toxicology report.
It's insane.
Let's see.
I got another one when you guys are done with this. It has still to do with Pizzagate and shit, so it ties in.
Well, I was gonna say, with the whole Pizzagate thing, you also have to remember about Lolita Island, and if you don't know what that is, yes, Bill Clinton.
You mean the place that Bill Clinton visited 26 times?
I hate to tell you, but fucking Chris Tucker is also on that flight going to that island.
Yes.
Let's not get too off track, though. But yes, that is good. But Ace, did you get an idea of how he died?
I am trying to find where they're not just talking about is hanging.
Sorry, I have PC problems at the moment, so that's why I can't be on my PC right now. But yeah,
you're good. Found partially suspended by a resistance exercise band in his hotel room.
Mm-hmm. Did he have any other kind of damage to his body, though?
Drugs did not contribute a factor. I'm trying to find if, because it's a Rolling Stone article. I don't know if they're gonna fucking note anything like that.
Probably not.
I might be able to. I'll look it up too. In other words,
I was gonna say, yeah. See if you could get anything else on it. But
someone in the chat might have even done it. But either way, you have these two megastars in the music industry who are both quote unquote suicided. We have a leak that substantiates kid trafficking problems in the elitist sphere with Hillary Clinton. And we don't need to go into this right now, but this is a fun one. We have tons of evidence that at least, if to be nice, at least a dozen people murdered thanks to Hillary Clinton or Bill Clinton.
oh yeah,
right? They say
Like,
that you have an 80%
That's being nice.
chance.
That's being
You're-
nice.
Supposedly, if you're friends with Hillary Clinton, you have you're 80% more likely to commit suicide.
well, and
Like that's what this.
I mean, have you seen her? Just
Know
your
what?
parents will make you want to kill yourself.
what was his name? Jim Foster, I want to say it was. It was something Foster where they're like, oh, it was a suicide with 2 bullets to the back of the head.
Yeah.
Well, see,
Mhm.
I have pulled up Chris Cornell's autopsy report here. And it says right at the bottom, there were no other injuries or any diseases present that contributed to death. Post-mortem toxicology detected butalbital, lorazepam, pseudoephedrine, blah, blah, blah. Drugs did not contribute. It looks like it was just a hanging.
Well, my bad. That might have been Chester's then. I don't know.
All right. Well, when it comes to Chester,
I do like to just jump on shit because it's fun for me.
dude. When it comes to
But
Chester,
If I get
found,
disproven, that's okay.
I got this little. You want to present me, Schmeichel? Got this little photo here.
What I like
of,
about conspiracy theories is
This is John Podesta
oh no,
and,
what'd you do?
and Chester from Lincoln Park,
Well,
and people are saying that
Oh no, this is a
Podesta
whole nother thing.
is
Oh
actually
no.
his father.
Yes.
They
Who-
do look a lot alike.
Yes, they do. I mean, like it just looks like older pictures of Chester. Like
Yes.
years went by, and yeah.
If not his father, maybe an uncle or something.
Well, they say that Chester didn't know his dad when he was a kid for very long. Like his dad wasn't in his life very often, and Chester was also molested as a kid.
Well,
And they're saying that like John Podesta, it even goes as far when you dig into this shit to say that like John Podesta and his brother were the people who killed I don't know if it was John named Ramsey, was it?
Marilyn McCain. Yeah,
That's what
I
it
was
was.
going
It
to
was,
bring that up because that kind of ties into the whole Pizzagate thing. Because if you look, you could find a photo of the sketch of like the 2 people that they think adopted the kid, and it fucking almost looks spot on to him and his brother.
Dude,
Yes.
you know what they said? They said that the mole for the brother was in the wrong spot on the sketch, so there's no way it could be him.
And by the way, whether it's Schmeckel or anyone in the chat, like if you guys have stuff to like debunk certain things, go for it, do it, because I don't like to jump too far down a rabbit hole while being wrong. But the part I like about conspiracy theories, when I get in that mode, is it kind of is like it nurtures you to be like, just jump, just take the leap, and you just do it, And sometimes you get debunked, and you're like, oh, okay, that was.
Just make sure there's no rope around your neck.
But yeah, and let's also announce to the crowd. None of us on this stream today feel like committing suicide. So if anything happens to us, you know who did it.
Yeah, it was John Podesta.
Never committing suicide, but Zell, I'm not sure about you being a baby daddy to 3 opals.
Okay, see, why is that
God,
spreading?
dude,
Why
I
are
felt
they
so
3?
bad for you.
Why
They
are
were
there
like
3?
they
We're
were like
not
beckoning you.
No, that is a different day. That we'll make a whole stream dedicated to the conspiracy theory of me being the daddy of whatever.
Okay, Daddy.
Is Vamp Candy Opal's mom?
I'm beating the shit out of Opal. That's it. Nope, I'm doing violence.
Is Vamp Candy Opal's mom? No?
But
Okay.
I hope we didn't confuse the audience too much by jumping around too much. But the point I was getting at and I would like to even hear Schmeckel's take on this because it sounds like Schmeckel's kind of interested. But is that not creepy enough that we have these two megastars that we know what one of them worked for directly, that we know another one who's got this other conspiracy of it being entangled and maybe being sexually abused as a kid? They're offed. Well, they commit suicide. Okay, sorry. And they're connected to this ring where just moments before that, we get WikiLeaks about people higher up possibly ordering fucking kids. It's a little fucking creepy.
Unless you've got more connecting it, I think that's reaching.
Yeah, I'm not like the what is it, the authority on this shit, but there's like, whether it's a lot of false information out there or not, there's a lot of dudes out there with a lot of information that it'll make you convinced. You might look it up and like be able to debunk some stuff, but there's some shit that you just can't, or it's just like, that's real.
Right.
Like, have you guys ever looked up Barbara Bush and then Timothy No.
Have I ever looked up Barbara Bush?
No, who was the guy?
Who hasn't looked up Barbara Bush?
Who was the super evil dude from the UK that a lot of people like Jim Morris was a huge fan of him. I'm forgetting the fucking name. God damn it.
You're not talking about like Aleister Crowley, are you?
Aleister Crowley, the creator of the
Yes, I think I am.
Bible
Am
and
I?
church.
Yeah.
Aleister Crowley,
look, if you look up a picture of Aleister Crowley, if that's who I'm thinking of, and Barbara Bush, there's a conspiracy theory that Aleister Crowley was Barbara Bush's dad.
No shit.
I'm gonna look into this right now.
and the conspiracy has some objective fact to it, because fuck, who was it? Barbara Bush's mother went to she went somewhere. It might have been to the UK where Aleister Crowley was, and they had a known connection. She visited his house or some shit like that.
Here's a good one.
God, I want to talk about all these, but I'm so foggy on so many because I haven't like delved through them for a while.
Well, I mean, here's a picture of them too that I thought was a pretty good one. Kind of shows that they have similar jowls.
But at the same time, that picture, he's probably about the same age as her.
Yeah, maybe. How about it looks like him in a wig.
Right? Doesn't it? Like
Schmeckel
at least appreciate that one.
Mr. Aleister had quite a few lady friends.
I'm sure Schmeckel appreciates that one. He's probably like, yeah, I called that shit.
Right.
I still would have banged her.
Here's her and him with different ages of him, I'm guessing, and then it does look like him in a wig, really.
Right,
maybe the same person.
Fucking creepy.
Staying out of drugs.
Oh, I thought they were censoring her tits for a second there.
Nobody wants to see bushy tits.
Knuckles got a whole fucking folder on his computer of Barbara Bush's titties.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's a pretty popular conspiracy theory.
Oh my god, what do they do with Bill Clinton? They're the same person. Aleister Crowley.
I don't have enough information to help people who are very skeptical, which you should be, of convincing them of like the Chester Bennington one. But do you guys have any creepy ass, maybe even ones that are still connected to the Pizzagate you said, Trippy, or some creepy ass conspiracy theories like that involve bands?
Well, the only conspiracy thing I know about Pizzagate is them being connected to a little girl that went missing like 10 years ago out of her hotel room and is still missing.
Yeah,
I don't know if I've heard that.
Yeah, like they have her listed as missing. I'll send you the stuff later, Zell, but like the dogs picked up her scent in the rental car that her parents used after she went missing and picked up her scent behind the sofa in the hotel room.
That's creepy. But yeah, speaking of Aleister Crowley, Aleister Crowley is a perfect jumping off point, guys. Aleister Crowley is involved in the music industry from the 50s all the way to the 70s and possibly like even the early 80s.
Up to now, yeah.
Well,
Up
yeah.
to now, yeah. I just meant like, it was much more alive during a certain time. But like you can take like the Doors, for example, and Jim Morris was obsessed with the guy. You can take Ozzy Osbourne's famous song,
Mr.
Hello.
Crowley.
Oh,
Well, that's the thing. That's why he made that song. The first line in it is Mr. Crowley, what went wrong in your head? And he did that song specifically to try to distance himself, since so many people were like, oh, you're the devil, he's the devil, what you're devil music. Ah.
But honestly, mentioning Mr. Crowley in your song, do you like that doesn't help your case much?
Right. Well, you know
Like-
that the murder that we were talking about with the little girl, like these are the two police sketches that came up.
Yeah.
And they said that it couldn't be right because his mole was on the wrong side of his head. So the police didn't even look into it, dude. They didn't even look into it. And these were people that, like the little girl was spotted. Taller man, heavier set. I'm guessing the brother was supposedly the one that carried the body of her to their car. I guess the parents of this girl were also like friends with the Podestas. And at the time, they had gone to like some kind of millionaire's party, and they let one of their friends, who's a registered sex offender / millionaire, watch their kid while they were gone.
Wow.
That's
Yeah.
a smart move.
Yeah, and then apparently these two were spotted helping to ditch the body, and like there was some yard work going on at this mansion, and from what I heard, like people were saying that she was buried in the backyard, right? And the police went and investigated, and they come back with this picture, and they're like, we couldn't look at the backyard because there's this pile of rubble, wood, and other debris. When that pile of rubber or wood and shit was in the front fucking yard. It was in the front yard next to the driveway, and they're like, this was in the backyard, so we couldn't see what we were doing.
Ooh, speaking of music conspiracy theories, this is a more recent one, like in the past about 10 years or so. But have you, Zell, heard about the one of John Benet Ramsey being Katy Perry?
Bum, bum.
I did recently hear about that shit, and kind of laughed at it. I mean, you got to give me something. Like when it comes to conspiracy theories, I love jumping down that rabbit hole, but I need some stuff that's believable, and then I can start creeping myself out. It's just fun for me. But
Trippy knows
give me something
more on it.
What do you mean I know more?
You fucking brought it up multiple times.
Yes,
Talk about
you
it,
have.
dickbag.
I just think it's funny, man. Damn.
Oh, you son of a bitch.
Right?
Tell him about it, Trippy. Don't leave us all hanging.
Punch him in the dick.
Basically, from what I know of
Here, I'll
the
screen
theory,
share.
is besides the picture, like they do semi look similar.
There's
right?
your fucking picture, Ace. There's your picture. Well,
But-
Yeah, when it was mentioned, I
There's
didn't
many.
even have to look up the pictures because the John Benet Ramsey thing, it was like a big deal when I was young. So like that girl's face is like stuck in my head.
Yeah, dude.
right.
Like that was a big deal.
But
There's a lot
one,
of weird shit with her because, like, when they found the, or when they went to the parents' house, there was like duct tape in the room where John Bonet was supposed to be, like, was supposed to have been when they found her body, or some shit. Did they find her body?
No, they didn't. Oh, man,
it was her
there's some-
bedroom.
No, pretty
And-
sure they found her in the basement.
yeah,
Oh, okay.
No. They found her in the bedroom.
I thought it was in the basement. God damn it.
Whatever it was, either way.
Check wherever it was. But I do know
All
some
right.
shit on the John Bonet thing. Keep going though.
Well, I know at one point the parents had a press conference and they were like, "This is the dress that our daughter was wearing on the night she was murdered," and it's like, well, how come that dress is like, for 6 to 12 months, and she was like, what, like 6 years old or something when she was murdered?
I believe 6. Yes.
And yeah, they're like, obviously that's her little sister's clothes that you're holding, and they're claiming that it was hers, and it
Well,
just
you'll
didn't
get
make
a
any
kick out of
fucking
this
sense.
shit. You'll get a kick out of this shit, and if Ace or Trippy, if you guys want to look this shit up too, this one's a
was
little more
found in the basement.
substantiated. But there was a friend of the Benets that would do the Secret Santa Claus. Every Christmas he would do Santa Claus for the family. And this guy has a year. What was it? I think it was a year to the day, or at least on the anniversary of. It could have been like a year earlier or a few years earlier, but on the anniversary of John Bunny Ramsey's going missing, this guy who did Secret Santa for the family, he was involved with another family where a kid went missing as well. That or the kid was found dead, but there was like a link there.
Well, she was found in the basement, so
Yeah.
bam.
Either
now
way,
we know.
it doesn't matter.
For
And
sure.
then on top of that, another weird piece of evidence. I fucking forget why, but it was that she was found in the autopsy with undigested pieces of pineapple in her. And there was a bowl of fresh pineapple right in the kitchen.
What? Where's the link here? I mean, like, what's up? Are they trying to say that she ate something in the house right before she was killed?
I think what he's saying is there was fresh pineapple. She had fresh pineapple inside of her, undigested, so recently eaten.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how stomach acids work after death, though.
What? It could have been in a different organ.
I forget why that was. I forget why that was a creepy piece of evidence.
That's why I'm like, wait, what? We just made this weird kind of screwy turn.
But
pineapple,
another suspect.
Pineapple kills children.
Another suspect was her brother, I believe.
He was a huge suspect, and
Who was
he
a couple years
Yeah,
old.
he went on the news about that recently.
And he was creepy as shit. He was on Dr. Phil, I think.
Yeah,
They just straight up made the brother out to be the murderer at one
But
point.
at the same time, you guys have to remember the brother was like, what, 11, 12 at that time?
Something like that.
he was like 8, wasn't he? He was like a couple years older.
All I know is he was really small and really young then, and like I looked at the family pictures from before she went missing, and I'm like, it's possible there have been other serial killers that age and murderers, but
Michael Myers. Mm-hmm.
I was talking more towards Mary Bell, but she looks almost his size. She could have fought him off at that age. Yeah.
Yeah, but like, I don't know if you guys looked it up yet, but I don't know the gentleman's name, the guy who did the Secret Santa for the family. But that, to me, was the most convincing case I had heard.
Somebody's asking me when it's Tropel and Zell's wedding.
Tropel?
They spelled it
Trio.
No, no.
Troaple. I don't know if they spelled
it's already not a joke with one kid.
Well, to be fair, Zell, Opal said that you look like the father of her child before he did drugs.
That's not being
before.
fair.
Before
I'd rather be after the drugs. I don't care.
Yeah, because after the drugs, he didn't have Opal no more either.
Yeah.
Okay, we're getting DMs flooding in, son.
We need to give Zell a hug and a break from this.
Never.
We need to get. You say we need to get Vamp and Kadant and Opal in here to beckon him to hell like they were last night.
That was a nightmare.
Dude, I heard that and I was like, no, Zell's gonna have nightmares. He's not gonna be able to sleep.
They did murder laps, Trippy. They did murder laps.
I heard, and we were still in our hangout, and I could hear it echoing through somebody else's shit. So it was like every time they laughed or said something, you'd hear it twice.
Read your DMs, Thorn.
Motherfucker.
Get your attention.
She says she was found in the upstairs bathroom. There is a running theory that her sibling killed her. Her brother's fingerprints were found on the bowl of pineapple.
That was it.
Thanks, Thorn. Thorn knows this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
She's a good lady. You should have her on the country more often. Schmackle.
And so the theory was that she was like force-fed them or some shit.
Mm-hmm.
And that would explain, because it didn't even look like there was any attempt to really swallow them.
Mm-hmm. Like they were still in her esophagus?
I think they found some kind of evidence of like her throat at the entrance of her mouth, like being obstructed or bothered.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think there was like a duct tape or something, duct tape or rope that was found, like fibers in the skin around her mouth.
The
I
whole
think.
Katy Perry, John Bonet thing, it's more so like, oh, they faked her death as a Masonic thing so that way she could be inducted into the Illuminati and be famous when she's old.
Nay, 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 nay. Pinoid says, "Are your feet tired?"
I was already responding to him. Continue talking about interesting things.
Oh, you just gotta check on his future baby mamas, you know.
I'm not his future baby mama. I will never be his future baby mama.
You gotta wait for her to give birth to my kid first, Pinoid.
No, no, not
Anyways,
happening.
Ace, back on track. Let's
Yeah,
go.
no shit. So Zell, what's your take on the whole everybody who's big in the music industry is in the Illuminati because they do like the pyramid symbol or the one eye thing?
Oh, I think it's absolutely ridiculous. I think it's funny. I think the musicians do that shit to kind of like egg it on and have fun with it.
Yeah.
But again, that being said, like 90% of the conspiracy theories that I talk about myself, even when I'm having a blast with them, I don't believe them. I think they're I love jumping into it.
They're cringy
like,
sometimes too. Yeah.
Yeah, so I've listened to some people who claim they have evidence of this, and I'll listen to their evidence, and it's just kind of like hearing a ghost story. It's like, how far can you take the story in your mind to creep yourself out? And so when it comes to like the musical artists like making deals with the devil and all that shit, I've heard a couple things that have made me creeped out about it, but nothing too big, really.
Oh, who the fuck was it? Was it fucking Bob Seger? There was some fucking famous artist. He was doing an interview, and they're like, you know, how did you become famous? And he goes, well, you know, I did what we all have to do. And they're like, well, what's that? He's like, I sold my soul to the devil.
Mm-hmm. It wasn't Bob Seger. It was Dylan, dude.
There you go. Thank you.
Yeah. It was Dylan. And because the interviewer, yeah, was like, can you give us any secrets on who you sold your soul to? I don't think he said straight up the devil. He said the big man. And he was like, Jesus? And Dylan's like, no. He was like, then who? And he goes, well, you guess. It's like, yeah, well, you know, according to the past, I mean, I guess all you really had to do back in the day, man, was be a blues musician and just, you know, kind of really want it, but not be too good at it. And the devil would meet you at the crossroads, and he'd be like, give me your soul, and I'll make you the richest blues musician ever. That's what used to happen, dude.
Mm-hmm.
All the time.
Dun, dun, dun.
Ba, 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 ba. But,
Man, if that shit were true, it would be proof that God's dead. Because Satan's got to be fucking dead too. He stopped giving out these talents.
Right?
He ain't making
like,
no
shit.
more deals.
Satan used all of his power up. He's just like, yeah, I made like 3 million people famous. I didn't get anything in return. Fuck that shit. I'm going to Mars. He started making, you know, famous Martians and shit.
Yeah, he's sitting there after the fact, and he's like, the fuck did I think I needed souls for?
Yeah.
Well, what good are these gonna do me?
They don't even power my vacuum. The fuck?
Be like
nasty.
the demons from the anime Panty and Stalking, where they just have to collect souls so they can buy their way out of hell.
Okay. That's a weird fucking anime. You should be ashamed of yourself for watching that.
Never.
It's
Oh,
like,
I was just looking it up, and yeah, the Santa impersonator guy showed up 2 days before the murder to the house to give a card to John Benet Ramsey himself, and in the card it said, "You will receive a special gift after Christmas."
It was great.
Well, see, okay, that was another thing. I just looked up, and it said that John Benet Ramsey didn't really have any. There wasn't really any evidence to suggest rape, but they did have evidence to that it was able to.
But there was a
suggest
blow to the head.
sexual assault. So,
Yeah.
like, they're saying that, in other words, something down there was fucked with, but it wasn't necessarily rape.
Which again points to a fucking young kid doing it.
Hmm.
Yeah, he didn't know what getting his rocks off was. He was just curious. He had a dead body there. He was like, "Hey, now's my chance."
And there was another gentleman by the name
Nasty.
of Mark something, Clar or something. And this gentleman claimed he was there and saw John Benet Ramsey die, but that he messed with the evidence at the scene to help cover up who really did it.
Yeah,
But
he
then
did.
he knows
Yeah,
who did it.
they
Because
he said something when he was overseas to an investigator. They ended up arresting him, bringing him back, and they couldn't tie anything with like DNA evidence or anything like that to him. But he was bragging like, "Oh yeah, I was there. I fucked with it." And
yeah, they admitted that the body was moved because the cops were like, obviously, after rigor mortis, this body has been moved. There's no way that it died in this same room. And
Well,
the
the father
dad even said
admitted
that
the
he
father
moved it.
admitted that he moved the body from the cellar to the bed. Like that's how I got it confused. The father, when he found the body,
Yeah,
took her from the cellar, took the duct tape off, and wrapped her in a blanket on her bed.
which is a really fucking odd thing to do. Like, as a father, I could understand like is finding your child like that, like cradling them and crying, like holding them like right there, like in that same spot, but like physically picking up the body and like moving it to a bed to wrap, like that doesn't make any fucking sense to me.
Yeah,
I'm
it's
telling
not
you,
only-
man, it's all flat Earth. I'm telling you.
Yeah, it's not only disrespectful to the body, but disrespectful to your own daughter.
Right.
Adopted. And then, making you look bad in front of the cops. That's real fucking smart. There was enough evidence. Not enough evidence, but there was enough just odd shit that the parents both should have spent some time, maybe not necessarily behind bars, but watched very closely, And since they were so rich, it's like, oh, they've got all this money. It's fine. There's no way they're going to just kind of do some shit like this. And they didn't really pay that much attention to the parents after the whole murder. They were watched, but not like a hawk,
Yeah.
Like the cops would take naps and shit. Daimonis,
They were
Anubis.
trippy type cops. Got it.
I wouldn't take no naps. I'd fucking stay up for 6 or 7 days watching those parents and being like, yeah, you ain't gonna get nowhere, motherfucker. I would have put one of those trackers on them that I stole from Batman, and then they would have been able to go nowhere without me knowing. Yeah. Yeah.
What else you guys got?
What? I was going to say right quick.
I was reminded by John in the chat that the little girl I was talking about was Madeline McCain.
John McCain's daughter.
That was the one that Ace or somebody brought up already.
Right then.
I was talking about the one though that disappeared from her hotel room.
Mm-hmm. Is that the one that the Podestas were involved, or no? Maybe
they thought they were involved, and according to the investigation, they weren't because they claimed the parents only visited with them once for the whole trip.
You know what'll creep you the fuck out if Trippy or Ace
John
want to
Podesta's
look up
art collection.
If Trippy or Ace want to look up, I think it's how many kids go missing every year
In the U.S. or just around the world?
Fuck it, let's do both. First U.S., then worldwide.
Per year.
Every year.
Each year.
Do you want to take a crack at it before you look it up? Because
I was
it's a fucking
say,
scary number.
I got the number in front of me.
But
But
it's nothing.
I was going to say, no. Make your guesses.
With the chat? Go ahead, chat. Make some guesses.
Let's let the chat make guesses too.
You guys are included. Schmeckles said that
you
this
guys
year he's
can't
going to be
cheat.
very inclusionary. and he's gonna start.
Wow, that's a big number.
Yes. So we got
John Doe,
50,000 from John Doe. What a perfect fucking name to guess too.
Oh, Pinoid says to look at how many go missing in DC. I'll do that too.
That's a big number too.
Mm-hmm.
Pinoid says 300,000.
They're trying.
Yeah, they're building up. You'll get there eventually.
And by the way, this is just like, again, one of those things that the conspiracy theorist who believes in Pizzagate, and I believe in like a pedophile ring. I do believe in that genuinely.
You talking about like Jamie Deluxe? Or there's a YouTuber.
This is the kind of thing that just kind of if it doesn't at least support it for you, it at least will make you think.
Okay, John Doe says 1.2 million?
For
I think we finally had someone go over it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Bloodletter Death Streak says 760,000.
He's the closest without going over.
Yep.
Yes, yes.
Do you want to say the number?
Oh,
800,000.
Or that other
Children.
guy. That's a bad number.
Just in the US. You got to remember
Just
that's
in the US.
just in the US per year.
And it says that about 2,200 kids go missing in DC every year.
Either
That's
way,
just in DC.
like these are too big of numbers. No one's going to deny this.
I assumed it would be
Where are those kids going?
But it does say here as well, of those, about 115 were taken by a
Family.
stranger.
Oh, yeah. Family and loved ones.
There's
are the
about
ones that are likely to do
115
it.
where they can. There's about 115 where they can actually. They have some idea of who took them.
800,000 though. Out of 800,000, 115. It's like, oh yeah, that one guy might have got him. 115. That's it. That's like one.
Well, you got to remember, stranger abductions are supposed to be fairly rare. They got to be a hell of a lot harder to pull off.
Yeah, dude, like one of my bosses was saying that like if a kid ever went missing in the store that I was working at, if you hear that, she was like, just look for shoes. She was like, shoes are one of the biggest things that it's hard for an abductor to change, because like, you know, she was telling us that they had a case before at one of the places she worked where some kid was almost abducted, and the dude who tried to take the kid took them in the bathroom and tried to dye their hair before walking out of the store.
Yeah,
Holy
that's
shit.
that's an old urban legend. The shoe thing, it sounds like a good defense. But first off, if they're in a store where they can get clothing, they can probably get shoes. If they're gonna bring clothing beforehand, they're probably gonna bring shoes. And all of that failing, they could just take the fucking shoes off.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but you're
fair
gonna
enough.
notice a barefoot kid or a kid walking around in their socks.
Not
See, I
necessarily.
figured it would be that high since where I live. Just since January for this year's records, we've had 200 kids go missing.
Well, if you want a kid so bad, Nene, why don't you just ask me your Pinoid? We can look you up.
No,
And
it's not.
Trippy.
Stop stealing children, lady.
Shut
It's
your mouth,
n-
Trippy. This is about what do we? I mean, I want to take all your guys' opinions. What do you guys think of this? Does Schmeckel, for example, just think like, I guess that's what happens, or does this get you to start thinking like, where the fuck are at least half of them going?
Right.
Well, and
I wouldn't say anything near half. I'm sure, like certain, there are pedophile rings. I mean, you get child porn rings, you get shit like that.
People taking kids deciding to jump on one of the trains where I live to get away from a bad situation, etc.
Right. And then you got a lot of those kids
no
go missing from...
no way am I saying that 800,000 kids go into kid trafficking.
No. But some of those
What
kids
I am
even
saying
go
though is
missing
like,
from like
I think that's as high as it is personally because of kid trafficking. I do think it's that high because of that.
Yeah, they probably add retardedly high amounts to those numbers.
Just imagine this, because we were talking about the plane flights earlier. Okay, to that island. Okay,
Island.
yes, and you can tell.
Yeah, can I get some explanation? Like, is that
Yes, you will.
exactly
You
what
would-
it sounds like?
Yes, you will get
It
an
is exactly
explanation
what it
because
sounds like.
it sounds like
Yeah.
Ace wants to explain that, so you will get an explanation. But real quick, just imagine this. Imagine you're just going through college. Imagine you're. I'm going to choose a controversial person, but just for the sake of the thought experiment, imagine you're Barack Obama. Okay, and then imagine you're approached. Imagine you're approached to serve in whatever part of the office you serve in by people who are like, we're gonna fast track that guy. You get picked. We're gonna fast track that guy. He's on the right path. We're gonna fast track him.
Mm-hmm.
And imagine they just go, hey man, we got this thing we're putting together. It's gonna have a good time. A lot of officials there. You're invited. This is kind of your moment. Let's do this. You're not gonna say no. You're gonna show up, and then they're gonna introduce you to a little fun, right? And maybe that piece of fun is gonna be a kid. And maybe now you're in a situation where you just feel so high and so on top that, oh my God, this is what the bigwigs do. And maybe you do have a sick part of yourself that you want to entertain. And you do that thing. And then that's all they wanted you to do because just like the mafia, just like any Mexican gang, now what they have is something on you.
Yep.
From then on, they'll go, okay, from here on out, you sick bastard Barack, and I'm just using him as an example. But from now on, Barack, we're going to keep supplying you with this, which is awesome. You seem to like it. We're going to keep supplying you with it, but we know you do it.
Mm-hmm.
So for the rest of your days, play ball.
Man, but that seems like the type of plan that wouldn't work out because I think most people would get to the offer of child sex and refuse.
Well, there's
That's why you don't fast track that's why you don't fast track somebody like you, Schmeckel. That's why you don't make it. And again, I'm just coming from the conspiracy theorist mind. I'm trying to come from there. That's why someone like you doesn't make it. That's why they find the guy who is in control of his external environment but is a sicko deep down. They fast track those dudes.
Yeah, somebody.
And then they go, "Oh, you're gonna push every one of our policies because you want to go ahead and fuck Matilda on Thursday."
Mm-hmm. Like they'll find that dude who's a relatively good, whatever they need, but they'll get him to start admitting things beforehand, like, "Hey, what are you into? What are you? What's your sickest fantasy?" And then now they know what your sickest fantasy is, and they'll play into that.
Now, do I think that's exactly how it goes down? No, probably not. Do I think some version of that might happen in our country? Yeah, I do. I kind of do. Now, Ace, go ahead and explain the island.
Okay, so Lolita Island was owned by this fucking billionaire, Jeffrey Epstein.
Mm-hmm.
And Epstein fucking just had a shit ton of connections to a bunch of fucking political people.
Mm-hmm.
Well, rumors started to surface that when people went out to the island, there wasn't just a bunch of fucking crazy sex being had like you would hear of like something happening in the fucking woods out in California. I forget what that shit's called. But it was underage fucking women. And it wasn't just like, oh, a few of my billionaire friends, like Kevin Spacey, Bill Clinton, Chris Tucker, Woody Allen, Harvard economist Larry Summers, former prime minister to Israel, and like a bunch of fucking people, Courtney Love, and there's also talks that fucking Trump was there too. And like, so this dude, Jeffrey Epstein, was literally convicted on child porn. So it's already known that that's something that he's fucking involved in or has been before. And then all these rumors also fucking surface. So it's like, all right, so he's keeping up to the same old fucking tricks. He has his own island that fucking he owns. So like, there's no fucking way to really police it or anything like that. So basically what it sounds like, because there's flight manifests of the people who came and went. And what it sounds like
everything you've stated so far, just to clarify to skeptics like Schmeckel, this is all fact so far.
Mm-hmm.
This isn't like a joke or made up.
So what it sounds like they were doing is they were taking the flights out to this island where there was no real eyes on anybody, so they could live out whatever fantasies, whatever deep dark fucking desires that they want.
Now, if you couple that with WikiLeaks, if you couple that with pedophile ring, if you couple that with all the creepy shit that we've been talking about, and you just compile it together in a nasty blender, and then you take into account that Mr. Bill Clinton showed up on this flight manifest 26 times, 26 trips for this creepy fuck. Then you start to kind of like at least for me, then I started to be able to entertain like,
Makes
oh,
me wanna puke.
like it makes you want to puke, but then I also was able to entertain like, oh, like holy shit, at the very least, like this makes a good story. At the worst, like this could be a thing that's protected. This could be a thing that's worth killing for if people found out things. Like this gets higher up.
Yeah, dude, it says here that in 2008, he pled guilty. Jeffrey Epstein pled guilty to soliciting underage girls for sex, and then as they invested into him, they found out that like he had a habit of paying teen girls for massages, and during those sessions, he would penetrate them with sex toys, demand to be masturbated, and have intercourse, and that it turned up about 35 female minors that prosecutors believe had been sexually abused by him. And it says he has also reportedly settled lawsuits from more than 30 Jane Doe victims since 2008. The youngest alleged victim, whatever, was 12 years old at the time of her abuse.
Yeah, and again, take into account Hillary Clinton's husband flew to this guy's island that Trippy just described 26 times.
Yeah, dude,
we just want to announce to the internet again, none of us want to kill ourselves. If something
right, if something were to happen to me,
yeah, like I'm not saying that all the shit I spew out is truth, but it's like what I spit out, like, there's some, like, all you need is a couple things of what I say to be true, and then it gets creepy at the least, and I just like exploring it. I like to find out when I'm wrong too, but when you find out how right you are in these conspiracy theories, that's the creepiest. That's when it's like, all right, okay.
Well, they're all fun. They're fun to play around with. They're fun to go, oh, well, what's this angle about it? What's that angle? But the fucked up part of it is there's actually some fucking truth to it. And like you could actually go, all right, this is a true fucking fact. Jeffrey Epstein was a fucking pedophile. He did fucking diddle a bunch of little kids. He had his own fucking private island. He was connected. Like, and then that's when, of course, the fun starts to kind of take over of like, okay, well, who else was doing what? Who was, and I don't mean like fun, like as in like what they were probably fucking doing. I mean fun as in like having the wandering
It's like
mind.
a movie.
Yeah.
It's like a story. Yeah, it is. That's what conspiracy theories are, is like if you don't have a good story with your conspiracy theory, you don't have a good conspiracy theory. Like you need a good story.
You don't have a theory. You just have a conspiracy.
Very true. Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So
Schmeckle, I want Schmeckle's read on this. He's been quiet the whole time.
He probably threw up a couple times.
I know I vomited over here a little bit.
The fact that this place existed by itself is ridiculous. The fact that we have manifest showing people, famous, powerful people, taking trips to this place is probably a pretty good reason for those famous, powerful people to, at the very least, no longer be powerful.
But they just seem to get more fucking power. That's what it seems like.
Well, and so that's where I think it was Trippy or maybe Zell was saying, they kind of get this information or like figure out what you're into. So that way you could all have fucking dirt on each other, but be like, hey man, I'll keep raising you up unless you want me to fucking put this information out there. And like, that's how like it's Another
And look,
conspiracy.
look, we have if someone like Schmeckel, or, and I'm just using Schmeckel as an example for a good skeptic, and that's good. But if you have like somebody who's skeptical saying like, yeah, but somebody would blow the whistle, blah blah, they do. What do you think is going on with Corey Feldman?
Corey Feldman went insane.
Exactly.
Well,
that's exactly what they want you to be thinking. He has gone insane, but it's because of what they did to him.
That's when you bring up all the
Exactly,
people
dude.
around all these fucking high ups that like they start to spout off some crazy shit, and all of a sudden they commit suicide.
They will ostracize you. They will excommunicate you. They will fill your life with threats, and they will never have to be connected to that. And I guarantee you, within a year of dealing with that world, you will either have to jump into that world head first or become fucking psychotic like Corey Feldman.
No, see, I would find it a lot easier to believe Corey Feldman's claims if he didn't say things like, Charlie Sheen sexually abused Corey Haim. And I know this because Corey's ghost came and told me.
Oh, Lord.
He's a little floaty. What are you talking about? Of course he's a little floaty, but there's actual evidence to suggest that happened.
There is a lot to back up that happened.
Not to mention,
yeah, but but see, that's exactly what they want. Is they want this guy to be off kilter enough to where all you have to do is hear one thing from this dude and go like, yeah, but that's not a real whistleblower. It works. It works. Whatever they built, and I'm not saying how big this problem is. I'm just saying that whoever's in control of this problem. It's working. Like Pizzagate sounds really dumb to people until you go, didn't you know we have this shit on paper? Like, why are you talking about hot dogs in the middle of discussing Madonna? Like, why are you?
I frequently talk about hot dogs when I'm talking about Madonna.
Bad example. Spoons. But you get my point.
It's just because Schmeckel wants to put his hot dog inside Madonna.
No, she's a virgin. Throw it right down virgin. Stop right there. You stop right there. She is a golden virgin.
Why do I have a feeling I'm going to get tossed
like a virgin?
Like but yeah, I like bouncing off Schmeckel because Schmeckel's like trying to be as realistic as possible. But that's just my take on it. Is that we do have whistleblowers. They're the guys that they're nuts by the time they get strong enough to want to talk.
Well, like Michael Jackson once gave a speech, and like everybody said that he was fucking balls to the wall crazy and all that shit. Like he gave a big ass speech about like this is happening within the music industry. That's happening, and I have evidence. I have proof to back it up, and like that's why I'm protecting my songs and my rights, and because people are trying to take over my stuff, but like I will expose them. And like he gave a good like 20-minute fucking speech, and when I saw that I was like, well, what the fuck is going on with that? That's a little fucking crazy.
Right. You know the guy who you know about Comet Ping Pong, right, Zil?
Yeah, that's a whole Pizzagate thing, dude.
Yeah. The guy that owns Comet Ping Pong, like his name first and last, he says it's Italian, but the last name doesn't exist. Like it's a fake last name, but like when you translate his name, it translates to something like a child seller or I love children or something like that. I forget exactly what
the crazy.
You gotta look that one up because that one sounds silly.
Yeah, that sounds like it's probably not real.
The weird fucking thing about like that specific dude who owned the fucking restaurant is he was named like one of the top 10 most influential people in Washington, D.C. And you got a fucking pizza shop. Like, how are you that fucking influential?
It's gourmet pizza. God. Apparently, that's what he calls it. It's gourmet pizza.
Yeah, he bakes it right, like, in front of you. Ace?
Does he sprinkle a little caviar on top for the higher?
I don't know. They just call it gourmet pizza.
Yeah, like, dude, if I'm fucking kids, you better put caviar on my pizza.
Caviar and fucking robin eggs, yo.
But yeah, they also say that the basement of that place is supposed to be like the kids' hangout center. But at night, like when they close the place to, basically they close the place to kids. And in the basement, where all the kids have been playing all day, they hold shows. And like there's audio and video from people, shooting with their cell phone. And like you could hear people talking about fucking kids while there's somebody on stage doing this weird ass performance. It's this dude with a super deep voice, and he wears a blonde wig and like lipstick, but he's wearing a ski mask.
That's
And
creepy.
he's up there talking about how everybody's attracted to the young ones.
That's a little
It's
weird.
not good.
I mean, but if they make good pizza, I still like if I was near there and I was like, there's nowhere else close, and I went in there and I was like, this is pretty good pizza. Like, you can't judge them for that. You gotta enjoy the pizza. Don't think about the kid fucking.
So I've looked it up. The guy's name is James Elephantis.
Mhm.
Elephantis is apparently an uncommon name, and I
Mhm.
can't find what it does mean. But other than shit about Pizzagate, I'm
It
not
means
seeing
I love
anything.
kids.
It seems to be related to the word elephant, based on some of the related names popping up.
Yeah.
Maybe.
See, there's some
Go on
like
Babel and translate it.
there's some really like silly exaggerated stuff out there that just kind of adds to the like, I guess more so making it like the myth that it is. Those are fun, but they do suck when you find out like, oh, that's not true, because I think it kind of hurts what really could be going on. Like, and I genuinely think that, I mean, obviously someone like Chris Cornell thought kid trafficking was enough of a big deal to do an organization about it. And this wasn't just like international kid trafficking. No, he was talking about the U.S.
Okay, so we got Solar Waves Xfinity in the chat saying, and I don't know if he's joking or not. It's a French sounding name for I love kids, or Le Enfant is.
Yeah, that's what they say.
Enfant equals infant. An enfant is actually just a child in general, and even if that were true, that was the base of the word. The L and the IS don't say anything about love.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, like that's just part of the conspiracy. Some people are gonna make some huge fucking leaps.
Yeah, there's the I guess you could say like for example, like the term conspiracy theory, it was when it was invented, right?
I don't know what's a conspiracy about it. I might believe it. No.
There's actually it's not a conspiracy theory. It's true, it's fact.
Yeah.
Conspiracy theory as a term was made in the 1960s by the government when it came to JFK's assassination to discredit those that were looking into JFK's assassination as a term to stigmatize people.
Yeah, that's right. I've heard that before. I think the whole JFK thing, it's been solved. I'm pretty fucking sure.
I like to have fun with that one.
See,
I don't think it's been solved.
Bubonic for you has he's James Elephantis equals j'aime les enfants. That's a little more convincing, but it's still.
I'm with Schmeckel on. I'm with Schmeckel on this one. It's like, are you reaching? I don't even know enough about that.
It seems like a reach.
But
have you ever
like
seen
I said, there's the conspiracy theory isn't necessarily derogatory. It actually does come from a place of fact and evidence. And so there's the conspiracy theory where you're using facts and evidence to try to come to some conclusion about a conspiracy. And then there's the fun stuff around it. It's like the breading on the fucking chicken. You know what I'm saying? It's like it adds to the fun of the whole fucking thing. And that's like one example, like the whole name thing. It's like you just find more stuff to like add and be like, "Ooh, did you know this? Did you know that there was a pizza they made one time in the shape of JonBenet?" Like,
no, it's I get what you're saying. It's like with 9/11, they're the people who are serious about it, have serious theories, and then there's if you type this, the wingdings make a plane in 2 towers. It's like, shut the fuck up.
I'm gonna send this. I'm gonna put this in the side chat, but I wouldn't share any of it because, you don't want to. But it's this website has like what would you call it? Pictures and artwork that the guy who owns Comet Ping Pong has taken, and like artwork that he owns. Just scroll through that website for a second and tell me if you feel like that guy might be a sick motherfucker. Also, one of the pictures is actually Barack Obama kissing some little Asian girl, which is fucking weird.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Check it out, Zell. Fucking go in the side chat. I put it in the Hangout
Yeah.
side chat.
Which, by the way, I forgot to let the audience know. Trippy Ace,
this guy's fucked.
Yeah.
Trippy, Ace, and I are going to be having a pizza and hot dog party next week. You guys are all invited. It's going to be at Trippy's place. Trippy, if you go ahead and dock yourself. We're going to have all kinds of buns and everything, and whatever you want to order that might be a kid, it's going to be there.
Right? Fuck you, man.
But
Okay.
Schmeckle, hold
what I'm
on.
talking about.
Schmeckle, was it that bad? Because I can't bring it up right now. I'm on the phone.
It's nothing.
Well, the one picture, the one with
The dude likes kids.
obviously on a plane.
What was it,
Schmeckle's like,
Pickle?
well, it's not that. Yeah, he likes kids.
Well, the picture with Bill Clinton, he's obviously on a plane. It's
Yeah, but these are like
where's he
obvious.
going? Where's he going on that plane, guys?
a lot of these are from
It's connecting.
James Alefante's like personal Instagram, right? And there's little weird fucking code words in some of the comments on his Instagram, or there were. A lot of it's privated or deleted at this point, but like the picture of the little girl with her arms taped to a fucking table and some grown man standing behind her.
Yeah, that's very.
That was
creepy
straight
and
from
weird.
his Instagram.
Yeah, that's the first fucking picture. That was the one that instantly was like, yeah, this guy's fucked.
Yeah, and it gets worse. Like he's got artwork. Well, I mean, I think it's on that website, but artwork of like kids hanging from ceilings with their arms tied behind them and shit.
With no heads.
That too.
Could
it's
everyone
just
in
really
the
fun.
could everyone in the chat please also, if you care about your life, mention in the chat that you do not feel like committing suicide anytime soon or in the near future?
I do not feel like committing suicide at any point ever.
Not you guys. I'm at the chat. I don't care about you guys.
Fucking
Fuck you.
UA's in the chat. He's like, "What? There's nothing
I
wrong
hope
with me." too."
I hope Ace gets suicided. Like tomorrow we're gonna find out like Schmeckel's gonna be like, Ace committed suicide, Zell. I'll be like, how? He just like jumped in front of a bunch of bullets and then he fell on a cupboard of knives. And I'll just be like, Schmeckel, you don't believe yet? Believe what?
It was an unfortunate suicide. He was a good man, Zell.
I'd be
Alright,
the,
Zell,
He was.
you're an asshole.
He was.
Go suck something.
And then they do declare it as suicide. They're like, this dumb stupid fuck jumped in front of a bunch of bullets, landed on them.
Landed on him.
He was drunk.
He landed on these bullets at over 1,000 miles an hour. What's going on here?
Motherfucker was a drug addict.
They use his his body like as like a PSA, and they're just like, don't drink and drive, and it's just a guy bullet riddled. And you're like, wait, what happened? What does that have to do with driving?
What did he do? Drive in Detroit? Was he the accidental victim of a drive-by?
driving-
What the
one
fuck?
1 second you're driving and having fun, and the next second you're filled up with 9mm.
Yeah, dude, or whatever you're most allergic to just happens to fly into your bloodstream.
Fun.
Yeah. Like, shit, I heard a conspiracy theory, or not theory, but like, if you look at the, I think it was it the FBI or the CIA? Either way, back in like the 70s or 60s, they created a gun that would shoot bullets that had, it wasn't fish oil, it was like shrimp.
It was
oil.
a shrimp toxin. It was
shrimp
a
toxin.
very, very, very tiny needle. You couldn't see the
Well,
entry
look at
point.
Schmeckel. All right, jump on in, buddy.
And
Yeah, but it's real
one of
shit.
us.
it was fatal. No, this is something that existed. It's been
Yeah, it does.
confirmed.
I believe you, but that's because I'm a crazy conspiracy theorist. So I'll believe like
Didn't
just tell
they
me anything.
say? Because remember,
Tell me
didn't they
anything,
say
I'll
that
believe
the autopsy would come back as if you died from a heart attack or something?
Well,
Oh my god,
you,
dude! I
you
swear I
did
think
die
I've
from a
been
heart
hearing about
attack.
this.
It caused a heart attack,
Mm-hmm.
but it was such a small amount of toxin that it wasn't traceable in the blood.
Dude,
Yep.
I think I remember fucking hearing about this. This sounds familiar. The heart attack part. Yeah.
Could
like a
you
bullet that-
imagine how many people this gun's been used on that were then said to have committed suicide?
Maybe, possibly, yeah.
If it
Yeah.
existed back then, what kind of upgrades do you think it would have gotten by now?
Here's a little bit more of like just kind of like creepy information. You guys have all viewed the Zapruder film, right?
Maybe.
You're talking
Have
about Kennedy, right?
Yeah, you've either seen the Zapruder film or have you seen the JFK movie by Oliver Stone?
No.
Okay,
You've probably
well,
seen
if
the
you watch
footage
the
or not
Zapruder
seen.
film, JFK is an amazing movie, by the way. If you haven't seen that movie, go fucking watch it. Even with its like arguable inaccuracies, it's fucking amazing.
Mhm.
But if you watch the Zapruder film, there's a moment where Kennedy's, I believe it's his front left or front right, whatever. Like it's when his head explodes. Pretty much, it looks like a watermelon exploding on the front, I believe. And there's this moment where Jackie is getting up towards Kennedy, and there's always been this kind of consensus that she's going to Kennedy to try to help him, or maybe even like as Family Guy does in the joke, maybe even try and scoop his brains back in his head, which wouldn't make sense. But through a few, we can do this another time too, because this was fun. But through a set of other conspiracies about JFK, there's the theory that one of the gunmen was in the fucking car, the front right passenger fucking seat, an agent, because Kennedy had to go. As far as the banks were concerned, what he was doing with the federal banks, he had to go. And Jackie, moving towards his body and to the back of the car, she was trying to leave the fucking car. Because she saw the agent do
she was very clearly trying to leave the fucking car.
Because she saw the agent do it. That's
not really evidence.
There's plenty of evidence.
Saw the agent do it. I mean, if somebody's head explodes in the car I'm in, I'm probably gonna try and leave too.
Yeah.
All right, but Trippy Schmeckle,
Why would you leave? Why would you leave all your security though?
She's got to go, Zell.
Man, she was surrounded by fucking security.
I have been in here playing with you guys for an hour and a half. I'll bullshit with you guys later.
That's what you call it.
Yeah, I mean, there wasn't even a single
Hold
erection.
on. Zell, I barely know you, but I'm not scared to get the cuffs out on you, dear.
I wanted to tell you, I've been a fan of yours for years. When are you going to leave Workaholics? You're better than that show.
Trippy, connect me with this guy on Discord. I want to bring him on my stream sometime. I think he'd have fun on the Bad Porn Comedy Hour.
Yeah, sure. I don't get no invite to bad porn. Fine, whatever.
Yeah, you did. I talked to Race. Right Ranger already said he was going to send you an invite.
Yeah.
Well, enough plugging. Get out of here. And it was nice to meet you, miss.
It was nice to meet you too, Zell. Have fun. Sorry that you have so many babies now.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god.
I hate to see what the child support on that is.
It's okay. She's pregnant, but Pinoid anyway.
I am not pregnant. Bye.
Bye.
Wow. Did you see that attitude? That's pregnant. That's pregnant. That's pregnant.
Super
attitude.
pregnant. She's already like 3 months along.
Super
She just met him yesterday and shit. She's already 3 months through.
She cut us off
I was
like
gonna
that.
say,
Wow.
Like that's a beginning of the pregnancy right there. Like she hasn't really gotten to the rage part of it.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, sadly, I have to go too because
You gotta go to work.
Too, Pickle.
Well, why don't we just close it up, guys? Let's do a nice little close before everyone just starts plopping out depressingly. What do you think, Schmeckle?
Trippy, do the Samosh thing.
Tonight we had Mr. Zell, and then we had Zell, and
You
Zell.
fuck ass. You fuck ass. You fucking fuck ass.
And we had whatever her name was.
She's terrible at this. Tonight we had Ace of Skull, we had Full Metal Pickle, we had Trippy Poo, we had the father of not one but 3 opals, Zell Blast Ya. And we had whatever the fuck that chick's name was.
I think it was Nigger.
Right?
It was Nigger.
I couldn't remember it.
Yeah, I think Trippy's right.
It was Nigger.
So tune in like an hour and a half. We got the Blackman button. I'm gonna have Outlaw Bear Dog and Ace here on. We're gonna be talking about a couple channels.
I never even got to say the channel last week. It never got to me.
Shut it down. Shut it down.
Because you're a faggot.
Trip, you don't talk anymore.
Subscribe to Ace and Full Metal Pickle here.
You shut your mouth.
Yeah.
Don't subscribe to any of these people. They're garbage.
No, we're all horrible.
Oh yeah,
I'll just sub to myself.
I make shit fucking content, so don't subscribe to me.